What's good, y'all? Lonnie Taylor here, and today we are going to get into the art story behind our boy Big. If you have not already checked the art story out for the LVNDY in LA collection, make sure you check that out at Lonnie Taylor Art, link in bio. Otherwise, this is Big story. I chose this image of Big because it's a classic picture of Big and it's epic. I painted this piece after I took my first online realism painting class. I was blown away by how dots of paint could accumulate and make skin. Like I couldn't comprehend it until I did it myself. So when I was painting Big, I was just, this is a mess, this is a mess, this is a mess. Oh my God, that's Big. You know, so I had that aha moment and it really started clicking for me what painting is. I won't say that any skill or technique was developed at that time, but I definitely garnered an appreciation for what is transpiring, especially taking of paint and creating a complete image. From the woodworking perspective, this piece was unique because Big has a big head, especially in this piece. So Big has his face area, and then he has the additional girthiness, no disrespect. There's not really a pretty word to say he has extra face on top of his face. So that was the unique perspective of creating the dimension between his primary face and his secondary face. And I just don't have the language, I'm sorry. But that was my challenge. How to not make him look wide, but to give him the look where he has his face and then his additional roundness, but face on top of face on top of face. Jewelry, I don't know how to paint jewelry, so figuring out how to paint his chain and really wanting to replicate his chain, but finally coming to a place that is just like, this is dope too. So that's something that I've struggled with and something that I've learned along the way, that just because it doesn't look like what other people are producing, this is dope too. And so his chain, coming to terms with that, painting his face was just, it was an awesome experience. Initially, I painted him extremely red, so I had to go in and brown him up a bit. His crown went through a couple of different painting phases. This is actually the final phase, of course, but it's not, the phase before it I favored, but I went over and glazed over it with the gold paint just because I didn't know what I was doing. The unfortunate thing about taking online painting classes is you still can't ask questions. So my first painting class, I had a teacher who I didn't know what questions to ask to get help, and she wasn't offering. And my second class, being an online class, I couldn't ask any questions because there was no one to ask. It was just a video. And I grew leaps and bounds, so there's no complaints about any of the online classes that I take. I am painting at the skill level I am today because of those online classes. Big is in the process of taking a painting class, and so I really love him. My favorite part about this piece, I'm gonna be honest, he has a ton of movement in his face, and being able to capture that movement was totally awesome. So the furrowed, or however you say it, eyebrows and the lines in the up there, and then the movement in his nose to cut the shaping out and then to shape it up and then create it and bring it all back together, and it just perfection. It was one of my first times putting the face together, and it just, chef's kiss. I absolutely love how his face came together. Would I go back and repaint this piece again? No, I love it just how it is. I appreciate it for what it is, and it really is my first painting after I learned how to paint. So I can't go in after I learned how to paint. I can't go in after that and then change it up, because this is capturing not only a moment in Big's history, but a moment in mine. So I wouldn't change anything about it. You can see more of Big and the rest of the LV and DY in LA collection on my website, Lonee Taylor Art, link in bio. You can also purchase merch. You could get your merch of the original Tupac. We know it's Bishop. You can get your merch, you can pick up your prints, and you can also purchase original art.